Hello, everyone. Very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us for this ABB webinar, where we will focus on the future of mine hoist maintenance. Very happy to have you here. My name is Fredrik Karlsson. I am the Global Marketing and Communications Manager for ABB's hoisting business. And I'm joined today also by my fellow speakers, John Manuel, who is the Global Service Manager for ABB's hoisting business, and also Veselin Donchev, who is the Global Product Manager focusing on service. So we have a really exciting agenda today, and before I hand over to our speakers, I will quickly walk you through it. So if we look at the topics that we will cover today, when I hand over to John shortly, we will have a short introduction to ABB's view on mine hoist maintenance. After that, we will cover some of the key findings from our recently launched benchmark study that we call the World-Class Maintenance Program for Mine Hoists. We will also look into how you can make the shift from reactive to proactive maintenance. And we will also cover the different tiers of our recently launched service offering for mine hoists, which we call ABB Care for Hoisting. In total, the presentation should take us about 30 to 35 minutes, which also leaves plenty of room for us to have a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to use the chat and ask your questions there, and we will address them at the end. So with that said, I hope you have a good time and that you enjoy the presentations, and I will hand over to John.
Hi everyone, I'm John Manuel, ABB. So it's great to be involved in this Future of Mine Hoisting Maintenance webinar today, and I'm really excited to tell you about the investigations that we've done to understand the maintenance requirements and best-in-class service strategies for mine hoists. As we will explain to you in this session, there is huge potential to improve on availability and performance of mine hoists through optimizing maintenance practices, and we'd really like to work with you to get the most out of your mine hoisting systems. Before we start looking at the future of maintenance, I'd like to briefly tell you about ABB and hoisting. At ABB, we've been advancing technology in mine hoisting for over 130 years. Our vision is to be the partner of choice in complete hoisting systems, both during project execution and throughout the life cycle of your hoisting systems. We strive to move the industry forward when it comes to safety in hoisting, and also have a key focus on the sustainability aspects of the mining industry and on supporting you with your needs to improve efficiency and productivity at your operations. ABB is a global market leader in vertical ore transport, having supplied over 1,000 mine hoist solutions around the world. We are a fully integrated OEM that can cover the complete scope of supply, including all mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, and automation aspects. We design and supply any type of hoist, including friction hoists, drum hoists, BMRs, and sinking hoists, as well as shaft equipment and rope handling equipment. Our offering includes both the provision of new hoists for greenfields projects and the retrofit, upgrade, refurbishment, and modification of existing hoists to meet new requirements. Our support is clearly not just limited to projects, but extends to all your life cycle support and maintenance needs. ABB is the global leader in drive systems and control systems, and all of these technologies are integrated into our hoisting offerings. Safety is also a key focus for us and an area that we're not willing to compromise. We're currently the only supplier globally able to offer SIL 3 certified brake systems, hoist monitors, and hoist protectors. We also offer advanced digital offerings to provide KPIs and dashboards, support you remotely, and assist with your maintenance requirements. Since our first involvement in hoisting in the 1890s, ABB has been a technology leader. At ABB, we have about 7,500 employees purely dedicated to R&D work, including a team working purely on hoisting solutions. We have numerous firsts in the industry, including the use of hydraulic disc brake systems, the first PLC control for mine hoists, the introduction of the electronic hoist monitor, and recently several firsts in safety. The first fully certified SIL 3 safety rated brake systems, hoist monitors, and hoist protectors. Now we are looking at transforming the maintenance practices in the hoisting industry with the release of our care offerings. Our hoisting team has a global presence of 300 employees dedicating to serving the hoisting customers. But they are supported by a much larger organization of over 100,000 employees. We have 6 major units for hoisting based in Canada, Sweden, South Africa, Poland, China, and Australia, and also have a presence in several other countries. But through our collaborative operations centers, we are able to provide remote support to any locations at any time. Now we'll move on to world-class maintenance for mine hoists. As you're all aware, the mine hoists are one of the most critical assets in any mining operation, and any reliability or performance challenges are likely to directly impact on production. As well as their crucial role in ensuring production, mine hoists are also critical for ensuring the safety of the mine workers that they transport to the underground work areas. Since hoists are the most efficient and sustainable way to transport ore from underground to the surface, their role is only going to increase in importance as the industry shifts towards deeper mining to reach critical resources. So I think it's clear from both a financial and safety point of view, there are very good reasons to prioritize maintenance of mine hoists. And at ABB, we had the ambition to look at how we can define maintenance strategies that can move hoisting maintenance forward, thereby improving availability, efficiency, and safety at our customer sites. But before we could start looking at the future of mine hoist maintenance, we needed to gain a deep understanding of the current state of the industry. So we came up with a 2-part approach. The first part on the left-hand side is called World-Class Maintenance Benchmark and Standard. This involved an industry survey to see what the hoisting customers are currently doing in terms of maintenance, and then using this information to define what the best maintenance strategies would be for our customers to maximize availability and performance. The findings from the study were then used to move into the second part on the right-hand side, ABB Care for Hoisting. So these are our tiered maintenance offerings, which provide any customers from self-maintainers to those wanting ABB to almost completely take over the maintenance responsibilities, with a mechanism to implement the world-class maintenance practices and schedules that we had designed. So what is world-class maintenance for hoisting? It's a first-of-its-kind benchmark study on hoisting maintenance practices of leading mining companies. So we collaborated with numerous mining customers from 6 different geographic regions that mine 8 different resources. And the aim of this was to understand the current hoist maintenance strategies around the world. And we did this by looking into detail at how maintenance is performed for 40 hoist elements across electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, and automation subsystems. All of this information was collected and compared and analyzed to determine the best-in-class maintenance practices. And then we went further to define optimal maintenance practices and schedules, which we call the world-class maintenance standard for mine hoists. The insights gained from this initiative form the basis of the ABB Care for Hoisting service agreements that Veselin will take you through a bit later. So now we want to look at the shift from reactive to more proactive maintenance. And I'd like to begin this by asking all of you a quick question about your current maintenance for your hoists. So what percentage of hoist maintenance at your sites is currently scheduled compared to a portion that is purely reactive when something goes wrong? So if all of you could answer the question on the screen there quickly. I see that the votes are starting to come in. I'll give you all a few more minutes before I take you through the results. All right, so far it looks like the majority of you are saying either between 50 and 70%, or between 70 and 90. So we got 44. Okay, now we've got about 40% between 50 and 70, 50% between 70 and 90, and about 10% that are doing more than 90% proactive maintenance. So there's still a couple of votes coming in, but I think that's a fairly good representation, and actually ties up very closely with what we saw with our benchmarking study. So we found that the average was 75%. So it seems to be pretty common with the people on the call today. What's interesting is we see that 10% of you are above 90%. So if I move on to our recommendations, then you will see that that's actually what we're recommending. So let's have a look at the two major findings from the world-class maintenance benchmarking exercise. So firstly, there's a very clear correlation between proactive maintenance and hoist availability. So what we found in the survey is that customers using predominantly proactive scheduled maintenance strategies have on average 15% greater availability than those mainly doing reactive maintenance when something goes wrong. So if we look at this differently, that's an extra 4 days per month of production, which clearly has quite a big financial impact. So the world-class standard that we defined requires that at least 90% of maintenance should be scheduled. And it goes into a lot of detail about maintenance scheduling, which should be implemented on your sites. So it's great to see that 10% of you are already just about at that level. The second key finding is that to get optimal performance, scheduled maintenance is actually no longer sufficient. You need to move towards continuous assessment of the health of key equipment, called predictive maintenance. So it's no longer good enough just to schedule maintenance at regular intervals. You need to continuously measure the health of assets and continuously analyze those measurements. So previous studies across industries have shown that predictive maintenance leads to 50% decrease in maintenance costs, 55% reduction in catastrophic failures, and 30% increase in operating life. But even with these very clear benefits, continuous assessment of asset health is rarely used on hoists by leading mining companies. This transition is not such an easy process, so the World-Class Maintenance Report defines a roadmap to move towards predictive maintenance. And with time, our smart hoisting platform will become the tool that allows customers to achieve this. I will now hand over to Veselin, who will take us through the care offerings, which incorporate all these learnings of the World-Class Maintenance benchmarking exercise. So over to you, Veselin.
Thank you very much, John. Hello, everyone. My name is Veselin Donchev. I'm a global product manager service for hoisting in ABB. I'm based in Sweden, Västerås. So what is ABB Care Plans designed? They're designed to extend the lifespan of a hoist. Even more importantly, as underground mining companies dig deeper, safety hazards will, of course, increase. Therefore, safety and reliability are key. Where in the business of underground mining, you know that hoists are among the most expensive and most important asset that you have in service. So having an ABB Care Plan can give you a peace of mind that your hoist is running optimally. An ABB Care Service Plan can also improve safety, namely by taking personnel out of the dangerous situation which arise from unplanned maintenance. Other key benefits include maximizing the performance and availability of a hoist, saving on maintenance costs, and improving the efficiency and sustainability of my hoist. With proactive maintenance, which is on offer with all our ABB Care for Hoisting service plans, it's possible for a hoist to remain in productive operation for several decades. Without proper maintenance, replacing these systems or parts of these systems can be a costly, risky, and time-consuming exercise. At the very least, preventative maintenance should be on top priority, including things like lubrication, inspection, or replacement of parts. In addition to plans that include scheduled maintenance, ABB has offering that include condition monitoring and predictive analysis. So now let us show us a little video about Care for Hoisting service plan.
ABB Care for Hoisting is best captured in the word care. It is care that ensures your hoist is performing at its best. It is care that your hoist is working safely and sustainably. So what is an ABB Care Plan? It's a service framework for maintenance based on inputs from the world's leading mining companies. An ABB Care Plan will enable you to maximize the performance, availability and longevity of your hoist, prevent unplanned maintenance and downtime, improve safety, save on maintenance costs, and help you achieve sustainability and emissions targets. There are 4 tiered ABB service plans. These are Solo, Protect, Smart and Total. The ABB Hoist Care Solo Plan is the most basic of our care offering and the minimum for hoist service and maintenance support. This plan includes a guaranteed response time, remote support, an ABB annual inspection and recommended spare parts inventory. Our Hoist Care Protect plan includes the Solo package and more. Key benefits include a preventative maintenance schedule that covers the electrical powertrain and mechanical equipment, as well as the control and brake systems on your hoist. For customers looking for a more proactive maintenance response, the Hoist Care Smart plan includes a predictive maintenance platform. Together with the ABB Ability Smart Hoisting Platform, you can monitor your complete hoist system, including predictive maintenance, advanced monitoring capabilities, performance monitoring, safety enhancements, dynamic maintenance. Like its name suggests, the ABB Total Care Plan is our most comprehensive plan, incorporating every inclusion in the Solo, Protect and Smart packages. The Total Plan can be tailored to meet all your maintenance needs and can guarantee your hoist's availability. Regardless of your current maintenance schedule, ABB's Care for Hoisting tiered offerings can help ensure the safety, reliability and productivity of your operation. With a proactive maintenance approach, it is possible for hoists to remain in operation for several decades. Without proper maintenance, repairs can be costly and time-consuming. As the world's #1 OEM for mine hoists, with over 130 years' experience to draw from, ABB has the skills and resources to best assist you with hoist maintenance.
I hope you enjoyed the video. There are 4 key challenges that we identified our customer face, and we're responding to these needs, which is the why we delivered our services. So it's reliability, digital and innovation, life cycle management, and energy efficiency and circularity. The way we are approaching serving these customer challenges is the what we deliver, our service portfolio. So it consists of recovery services, plant services, data and advisory services, and modernization and performance improvement services. There is more value for providing solutions than individual services, and how we deliver that is through our ABB Hoisting Care Agreement plans and the partner solutions. To summarize again, we have designed our hoist care agreements to be straightforward, with 4 clear options that let you pick up the right level of support without any hassle. First, again, we have the Solo. This is our simplest solution, which is basically maintenance to keep your equipment running smoothly. So then there is Protect. This adds an extra layer of security, helping you ensure the reliability and extend the life of your mine hoist. Next is my personal favorite, Here we bring in digital tools, allowing us to monitor performance in real time and catch potential issues even before they lead to downtime. And finally, but last but not least, Total. This is all-in-one tailored package, giving you complete coverage and peace of mind. So whatever you just need the basic or want full protection, our care agreements make it easy to choose exactly what you need. Simple, clear, and effective. So let me say a few words about our smart hoisting solution or our smart hoisting platform that we offer for our customer to connect you directly with our ABB expert technical support teams. So no matter where you're in the world, you have 24/7 access to the right people who can help you maintain your hosting operations efficiently. So this platform is designed to enhance your equipment reliability and performance through 3 tiers. First is condition-based monitoring. Continuously, we're tracking the health of your assets to address issues before even they become critical. Predictive analysis using advanced data insight to anticipate maintenance needs, reducing the unexpected downtime. And on top of this one, we put dynamic maintenance asset, which offer flexible and adaptive maintenance solution tailored to your equipment for real-time condition. Our goal is to provide you with a peace of mind and empower you to run your operations more smoothly, efficiently, and safely with the support of our global network of experts. So smart hoisting is all about people and collaboration. It's a very important enabler. Like, for example, if you have a high blood pressure, you might need a doctor or doctors to address this issue. If you're an athlete and you want to run the 100 meters in a better time, perhaps you need a trainer to improve your performance capability. With smart hoisting, this is the way that you can achieve your goals and be sure that your asset is performing on its maximum. So with that said, let me walk you through a real life example with a customer that utilized smart hoisting. This example is about our monitoring smart hoisting platform implemented in a mine site for one of our mining customers in Europe. So in this slide, you see the improvements achieved enabled by smart hoisting in the total hoist cycle. So this was reduced by 18 seconds, which sounds very small. So these reductions were achieved across all phases of the hoisting process by MBB engineering in collaboration, of course, with the mine team. So we reduced the loading time, we have reduced the time upwards with 2.7 seconds, unloading with 2.9, and the time downwards with 4.9 seconds. And this optimization translates to significant financial benefits, with an estimate annual gain due to increased production up to $3.6 million. So these results demonstrate the value of ABB Smart Hoisting solution to improve the efficiency and reducing the operational cost of our mining customers. You asked a very reasonable question. Will this affect the performance? No. On top of it, we have optimized, for example, the torque peaks from 1,035 kilonewtons to 945, and we have decreased also the torque peak downwards to 898 from 910 kilonewtons. So these improvements not only enhance the cycle efficiency of the mine hoist, but also we reduce the wear on the equipment, improving the energy efficiency and minimize the downtime. So ABB Ability Smart Hoisting has been instrumental in delivering these gains for the customer, transforming operations efficiency of our mining customers. And with that said, I will hand over to John to wrap up and elaborate more on can you afford not to care for your mine?
Thanks, Veselin. So let's quickly recap on what we've discussed today. So hoists are clearly one of the most critical assets in any mining operation, and it's essential that we ensure the highest level of availability and safety and the optimal performance. So our first of its kind benchmarking study with leading mining customers has shown that as a minimum, 90% of maintenance should be scheduled and preventative in nature. But this is not sufficient. For the highest levels of performance and availability, it's necessary to move towards predictive maintenance with continuous assessment of asset health. Our studies have shown, though, that leading mining companies are currently falling short of the world-class maintenance standards. So ABB Care for Hoisting offerings enable customers to move towards the future maintenance requirements and maximize the performance of this key asset. So you need to ask yourselves the question, can you afford not to care? I'll now hand over to Frederick, who will take us through the Q&A session.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Veselin, as well for presenting. Great job. And as John says, now we reach the final part here of this session, which is the Q&A. And I see that we received a couple of questions during the presentation, but please feel free to continue to add by posting a comment here in the chat. But while we wait for that, I'll start going through the comments that we received so far. So the first one, John, it's regarding the predictive maintenance. So the question goes, how much predictive hoisting maintenance are mining companies currently doing?
Yeah, so quite low. It depends on the different aspects, and it varies a little bit. So from a mechanical point of view, it's currently below 16%. If you look at automation, that's probably where we have the most continuous monitoring at this stage, but that's still sitting below 25%. And certain aspects are monitored better than others. Bearing temperatures quite frequently monitored, or air gaps, but there are many areas that almost no companies are currently monitoring performance on an ongoing basis. So I think it's quite clear that this move towards predictive maintenance is not so straightforward. There are potentially concerns from an IT side. Do we have the right sensors in place? Does our equipment support it? How do we make this first move? And I think that's something we've tried to look at in quite a lot of detail to help guide you through this process and to do an evaluation where you determine one area where continuous monitoring could add significant value. And then we go through the process of finding sensors that would work for you and how we monitor it and how we display it and so on to get that information across. And once it's been done for a couple of assets, to expand that further becomes easier and easier. And that's where the major benefits start coming through.
Perfect, John. Thank you. Another question that we have here is regarding smart hoisting. Maybe this is one for you, Veselin. So the question is if it's possible to add smart hoisting if you have a non-ABB hoist.
Well, the simple answer is yes, of course, it's possible. We made our smart hoisting platform agnostic. So any competitor hoist can be added into the smart hoisting platform. Of course, it might require some limitation depending on what signals we're able to get from the control and the monitoring system of the competitor MyHoist. But in general, yes, this is not a problem. We have done it, and it's absolutely possible.
Thank you. And we have another question here tying into the care offering that we presented. So, and it's regarding safety. So the question is if there are any products in the care offering that are directly related to safety or to increasing safety, basically.
Maybe I can take also this one, if you don't mind, John. So, yeah, in all our tiers, we are addressing the annual inspection audits. They have different names. We call them fingerprints in some countries. In some areas, we also call them audits. But it's annual inspections, basically, which directly impact the safety of the mine hoist. And of course, they address much more than that. I'm using the opportunity for the Safety Plus, or the functional safety process that we have added two very interesting products when it comes to these offering in our portfolio. The first one is called Safety Plus Software Maintenance Subscription that basically allows patching, software, major upgrades or minor upgrades when you buy the subscription. It has 3 plans, which is Maintain, Maintain Plus, and Maintain and Evolve. But I'll not get in details. And on top of this one, we have a functional safety audits, which is mandatory to be done in 3 years or recommended to be done in 2 to 3 years for functional safety SIL 2-3 rated machinery. So this is what we add directly in our care service care offering.
Thank you, Veselin. And I think staying on the topic of ABB Care for Hoisting here, we also have a more broader question around how do I get more details about the care offerings. Maybe this is one for you, John.
Yep, sure. So, well, that's exactly what we're hoping for after this session. So we'd be very keen to have discussions with you at your sites in more detail. So I think the first thing is you can reach out to your local ABB representative in your region, and they'll be able to give more details. And obviously we can set up calls to go through some details about world-class maintenance, about specific care agreements, and so on with you. I think on the next slide, Frederick will also give you some details about where you can find a little bit more information on the website as well.
Great, thank you. And we see we also have a question here that just came in. So you mentioned bearing temps and the air gap monitoring as inputs to a predictive maintenance model. What other aspects would be monitored? And please also describe the predictive methodology. Is it software based?
Yep. Thanks, Richard. Yep. So for the first part of the question, I mean, this does depend a little bit from one site to the other. So really, what we would look at first is the likelihood of failure of different components, as well as the impact from those failures, to determine where we really want to focus our attention. And I think from an electrical point of view, it tends to be a bit easier than on the mechanical side. But I think in both areas, quite a number of areas that you can gain benefit. So in terms of, is it software based and the methodology? So I mean, the methodology is really starting with the analysis of where should I be monitoring and to get the greatest benefit, and then stepping you through the process to actually have the platform, the software platform that you talk about, what sensors you need, and then how do you process that data and analyze it to determine what's normal and what isn't, because with some aspects like vibration measurements and so on, it's not really that straightforward initially unless you've got a good baseline. So that's something that we try and put in place to compare to. And this would be software based, yes. So we've got our smart hoisting tool, which is sort of the basis for the platform that we're looking at. And this would help you with sort of determining when something is moving outside its normal range.
Thank you, John. And we have another question here about making the switch. So how do you go about making a switch if you have an existing service agreement to join the ABB Care program?
All right, so if I take that one as well. So, I mean, I think we would be a little bit pragmatic and see what's currently in place. So there are two options. I think maybe in most cases we'd continue with the current agreement and then look at the portions of these care offerings that might suit you, and we can add those on. And once the agreement's up for renewal, we maybe move towards one of the more standard approaches. But I think a lot of these agreements will have some kind of customization from one site to the next. So I think we can look at it on a case-by-case basis to see what would best suit your needs.
Perfect. Thank you. I don't see that we've received any more questions right now. So if you have a question, feel free to post it. We have time still. So I'll give you a couple of seconds here if you want to ask another question. There doesn't seem to be. So in that case, we can move on to the next slide, which is our final slide. And this ties on to what John said about how you can learn more about this ABB Care for Hoisting offering. So we have a landing page, and you can reach it either by scanning the QR code that you see here on screen, but we will also send out the materials to everyone who attended here after the call, so you will get both access to the recording and also links to the various materials. And then I can also just give sort of a teaser here about our upcoming webinar, which will be focused on functional safety, and that is something that we're planning for the first quarter of 2025. So please stay tuned for that as well. I see while I was speaking, actually, we received another question. So I think since we have time, let's address that as well. So I'll read it out, and it goes, so could this agreement include long-term critical spare support, especially since some of these hoists have lasted decades?
Yes, so Adrian, yeah, thanks for that question. So absolutely, as part of quite a number of those packages that Veselin was showing a bit earlier, doing an assessment of spare part requirements and life cycle support when parts are no longer available, for example, is part of this process that we go through. So then once that's in place, we can look at what we do in terms of spares holding and so on in more detail. All right.
Great. Perfect. Thank you, John. And as I said, I think you can find all the details on the landing page. And on that page, you also have a contact form so you can get in touch with us directly. If you have any follow-up questions or you want to speak with one of our experts, we're happy to help you there as well. But so with that said, I will thank our presenters, John and Veselin, for a great job presenting, and also thank you to all of you for joining. We hope you found it both informative and enjoyable, and we wish you a nice rest of the day. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. We look forward to discussing this further with you. Cheers.